Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Attack on Titan episode 84 or season 4 episode 25. So last episode we finally got this big team up happening. They're all going to run and save the world. Some great bit of character development from Connie there. And then it seems like this episode, I imagine, is kind of formulating a plan, finally seeing everyone working together a bit, coming up with a plan to go and stop Eren. And then I'm predicting that whatever this plan is, we're going to see it start like just before the plan gets set into motion. That's when the show will end and it will leave us on a cliffhanger for a movie or a part 3, whatever they're planning. I know it's heavily rumoured that it's going to be a movie. So before we get into this, be sure to check out the Patreon. Over there you can find full-length reactions where you can sync up your own footage in case there's anything from the YouTube edit that I cut out that you wanted to see. And you can also find early access. Obviously no early access for this because I get the episodes out as soon as I can after they release. And there's also polls so you can vote for what shows and movies I watch next. So yeah, let's just jump straight in. John's dream from when he wanted to be on the interior police. He wanted to live a peaceful life. Is that supposed to be like him envisioning the future with Mikasa, it looked like as well? So he's kind of conflicted on what to do. But of course he does the right thing in the end, we saw. Betraying Flock. Yeah, Levi's still in no condition to fight. Yeah, how are they gonna react to this? Having to work with the Malians. Getting as many of the 9 as you can is the best bet. If you get Marley on board, you've got their militaries, you know? You can't be too hasty to go and stop him though, you don't want to go in there unprepared. Only 4 years, okay. Yeah, if they actually manage to stop it, what will happen? Will everyone else retaliate now? I love this framing, having him, it's almost like he's almost cropped off here. It's like half of his face is almost cropped out. You know, it's like him and Mikasa, they were on complete opposite sides of the frames. It's good visual storytelling. And now they're both together in the same shot. Guessing the credits here, are we not getting an OP this episode? Yeah, Hanji does have a lot of responsibility. We haven't really had that much insight into Hanji after they became like the leader here. Yeah, night of the end, okay. This is the night before they plan their attack? It almost does feel like post-apocalyptic sometimes now. They need something to break the tension. Yeah, at the start they were just defending themselves. It's just a cycle, yeah. And now we do actually kind of have proof of that as well. But it's all so long ago, 2,000 years ago, and they're still playing into this, you know? If both sides just stopped attacking each other, it'd be fine. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what Hanji's saying. Yeah, if it comes to... I mean, even if they have the physical capability, will they be able to kill him, like, in the moment? Does Mikasa actually have the ability to kill him? Would she hesitate? I think Eren's mind is already focused, but this might all be planned still, you know? Yeah, Mikasa, she still has this Ackerman cursing. I really hope Annie does get reunited with her father. I think that'll be a great moment. I'm liking that there's like this internal conflict within the group as well, because obviously they wouldn't just make up so suddenly and all be on the same page. A flying boat. Okay, getting close. You know, Reiner, Armin, Falco and Annie are going to be the key players here because they are the shifters. Armin's like big explosion as well, that could be really useful. Take out some of the colossals, maybe even take out Eren with the giant explosion. I feel like that's what they're planning, but I don't think that would be exactly how it goes. I don't think it'd be that easy. Look at that. Super intimidating. So she's just a regular Malian. What's her motive behind doing that though?
これ以上に人を引きつける甘美な言葉があなたが壁に穴を開けたことであなたも随分と調査兵団を殺したそう。は良識人のあなたがあそこまで派手に。
Yeah, Armin's probably got the biggest body count here. I think he feels the worst about it though. It's kind of a toss-up between Armin and Reiner because there's all of the knock-on consequences of what Reiner and Berthold did.
特にジャン、あなたは車力を撃つためにそこにいるファルコ少年めがけ。
John was actively trying to stop casualties though. We saw that when he was interacting with Flock.
殺されました。
Yeah, like on both sides, they've both killed so many people.
お互いのわだかまりをここで打ち明けて心を整理させようとしてくれて。
Yeah, yeah.
以前教えてもらったあなたの親友の名前は、そうだ、マルコだ。
Oh, because Reiner was the one who killed. Yeah. Annie, Reiner, and Berthold, they were all there. They were the one who killed him, you know?
マルコの死の真相を。
He found out so early on.
私がマルコから立体起動装置を取り上げた。だからマルコは巨人に加え。
兄は俺の命令に従っただけだ。
Reiner taking some of the blame.
マルコは俺とベルトルトの聞かれてはいけない会話を耳にした。
I like this, like not focusing on the characters. It's like hiding away.
最後に何か言ってなかったか。
He was screaming for help, wasn't he?
話し合ってないって。俺たちはろくに話し合ってない。だからどっちかが死ぬまで殺し合うみたいなことになっちゃう。
Yeah, yeah, just talk everything out.
マルコが巨人に食われるのを見ながら。俺はなんでマルコが巨人に。
Yeah, this is when Reiner still kind of had his kind of split personalities, you know?
許せないでくれ。俺は本当にどうしようもない。もういいって。
Oh, he's really going for it. Oh. Isn't that just like symbolic of everything? The wrong person getting hurt in the attack. The bystander. She can empathize with them now because all of her people are at risk of being wiped out. He just needs to think it over a bit and to cool off. Look at this, the sunrise as well. This is great. The background, that's beautiful. The reds and the blues.
港がイエーガー派に占拠されています。兵士たちが多く戦闘態勢でした。
Oh, so they prepared for them to try and go and stop the rumbling. Of course, it's Flock. Okay, so that was episode 84. You know, even though it was a much smaller scale episode. There's not many things happening in terms of action and things. This was just a great, smaller, more intimate, character-focused episode. One of the best in the whole show, to be honest. Just seeing all of these characters finally interact, talk about all of these things that have happened, and share all of these interactions was just really great to see. So at the end there, of course, we saw Flock is trying to stop them. They need to get to this port to get on their, they call it a flying boat. I imagine it's just like a little aeroplane. They need to get there so they can get on the front lines to go fight Eren. There's only like a few episodes of this left, right? There's like 2 or 3. So we'll probably get a bit of conflict here. Maybe we'll get to see Falco in action as the Jaw Titan here, or maybe even seeing Annie in action again. That'll be great to see. This is like a good opportunity for us to get a bit of action with some of the characters now before we go into like the final fight. Maybe this will be where we finally take care of Flock once and for all, because I can't really see past this point where his character would go from here. I think maybe this might be where Flock kind of gets killed off or kind of gets taken care of for the rest of the show, because I think after this it'll be mainly focused for the movie or for part 3 on taking down Eren or like stopping Eren. This kind of feels like a bit of a last stand for the Jaegerists, even though they've essentially won at this point. I feel like this is just kind of like a loose end that needs to be tied up before we go into the final battle and the show kind of comes to an end, you know? Because I don't think the Jaegerists will be much of a threat when the actual battling Eren like comes into it, you know? So this episode, you know, it started off with Jean. He's having this daydream about his nice cushy life in the interior walls. He's there with like, it looked like Mikasa as his wife, and he's got a kid. He's just relaxing. It looked like he had a fully grown in beard as well. You know, this is like what his dream was at the start of the show. He always wanted to be interior police and just to live a nice, comfortable life. But of course, that's not how things have gone, and he's had to deal with all of this stuff instead. But the growth for Jean has been great. Seeing him go from this kind of weak character, not weak as in badly written, but like physically weak or like mentally weak, and now he's grown into this leader figure, you know? So that was great. And then past that, the episode mainly just focused on this campfire scene, this conversation that everyone's having. They re-established that Levi, he's not going to be fighting anytime soon. I don't know if he'll have anything to do in the final battle. Maybe he'll muster up something to help out a little bit, but he's obviously very nerfed for this final battle, you know? And this great point was brought up, what happens if they manage to stop Eren? Because, you know, if they stop Eren from reaching Marley, I don't think he's reached Marley yet in the attack. The world and Marley are just going to retaliate again. This is the problem. It's just one side attacking the other and then the other side retaliating. There's more casualties, so they retaliate again. It's just this back and forth of retaliation and warning and threats, you know? And then there was that moment where Jean and Reiner were fighting, and then Gabby is the one who ends up getting hurt, and that is just kind of symbolic of what is happening in this whole show. You know, you have the 2 older groups fighting, the younger group gets injured and then retaliates again. So this kind of, you know, that's exactly how this cycle of violence is being perpetuated, you know? We also had this great moment for Hanji, seeing all of these, you know, past soldiers. We were seeing Erwin and seeing all of these dead soldiers, all of the responsibility that is on Hanji's shoulders at the moment. She is like head of the scouts now, and you know, it's all kind of fallen apart with the Jaegerists and everything. Not Hanji's fault at all, but they obviously feel like a lot of guilt, and there's a lot of responsibility on Hanji's shoulders, being head of the scouts and with everything that has happened, you know. Hanji had this great point at the campfire. There's all of this conflict over this thing that happened 2,000 years ago that neither side was actually there for. It's just the back and the forth that is causing all of this conflict. You know, it kind of reminds me a bit of The Great Divide, the last Airbender episode. Of course, I think it's handled here a lot more eloquently, a lot better, but it's kind of a similar concept to that, you know. It's the back and forth that is the problem here. If both sides just stopped fighting and just talked it through, it would be completely fine. But of course, that's not how it works in the real world, because everyone wants revenge for everything that's happened, you know? So this episode, of course, we had the Marco reveal. We obviously already knew what happened to Marco, but it's revealed for the characters. If I'm honest, when I first watched the show, I didn't really get all of the hype around Marco's death. You know, in season 1, when it like first happened, I know a lot of people were like sad over it, but Marco, he'd never really like made that big of an impression on me back then. But I think Isayama, he has this great way of kind of bringing characters back in even after they've died, or you think that their story is kind of done. He did the same with Keith Shadis as well. You think, you know, he was just this, you know, big military officer, you know, he was the one training everyone. So you think that was just like his role in the story. But then Isayama brings him back in and gives him even more depth. And we get even more characterization and great moments for him. And then like even after death, I feel like Marco's more important after death than he was beforehand, you know? Obviously, he had this friendship with some of the characters, but I never really felt like it was that he was like that important of a character until much later on, until now, you know. And then, you know, we kind of go back to Reiner's kind of split personalities and how he feels a lot of guilt for what happened, because I remember when we saw what actually happened to Marco, Reiner, he kind of flips back into his he kind of has his like warrior state and then his soldier state. He kind of flips back to his soldier state where he's like, oh, why is my Marco being killed, you know? And of course, Jean sees this and sees Reiner's breakdown. I still don't know if the scouts kind of fully understand what Reiner goes through, like his kind of split personality thing. So Jean is just like, why do you have all this guilt? You're the one who did this. And then he lashes out at Reiner. And of course, we have the moment where Gabby gets hit. I already kind of talked about that a bit as well. And then we kind of have Gabby begging for help. Gabby's the one who's like begging for all of this to stop, which I think Gabby has just had this great character arc, you know, going from someone filled with so much hatred to finally realizing all of these things that are wrong with the world and that she's done wrong and asking for forgiveness. And now they're actually trying to fix all of the problems, you know. It's not just enough to forgive. You have to go and prove your worth and prove that you are willing to put in the effort to go and fix all of these things. And that's exactly what we're getting now. Both sides working together to fix everything that's wrong. So I think that's everything I have to say for this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment. And if you really loved it, be sure to subscribe to keep up to date for all the future uploads. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.